everybody, and welcome to Let's Look at Tomb Raider. Obviously, this is the reboot of the very popular franchise of exactly the same name that hasn't had a new game in several years. I kind of fell out of the franchise around when Tomb Raider, I think it was called Angel of Darkness, came out in like the early 2000s. But obviously, in the mid to late 90s, the Tomb Raider franchise was not only a great franchise of games, very renowned for being good adventure games with puzzles and combat mixed together, but you know, also a series of very successful, at least financially, if not critically, films starring Angelina Jolie, etc., etc. But that's neither here nor there. Tomb Raider has been rebooted in a dark, gritty fashion, as is typical of 2013, and we're going to play a little bit. I've played about 2.5 to 3 hours of this game so far, and not to spoil my overall impressions, but I'm very, very impressed with Tomb Raider so far. When I saw this game at PAX Prime 2012, I may have actually declared it my most disappointing game of the show, which is a little bit of an embarrassment because this game has actually turned out to be quite good. In any case, just before we get started, I don't want to spend too much time at the title and option screens here, but I should note that I am playing the PC version, but I'm playing it with the Xbox 360 controller. These prompts will switch to keyboard prompts if you want to use the keyboard and mouse. Just wanted to demonstrate that this is indeed like a good, full-featured PC port. Like, there's lots of graphical options here that we can adjust. This is not just, you know, resolution and whatnot. I'm playing 720 windowed mode right now, just to kind of expedite the whole recording process and rendering process. But yeah, this is not like a botched console port by any stretch of the imagination. The PC versions went out late, which is why this video is going up late. But so far, I've had actually no negative experiences with the PC port at all. But in any case, we're gonna get in here. I'm about 20% into the game after, you know, probably 2 hours, because I got stuck on one of the puzzles for a little while, which is a little embarrassing because the puzzles in this game are far from difficult, at least so far. But, you know, looking like it might be an 8 to 10 hour campaign experience. And I'll explain the story a little bit once we actually get in here. But first things first, I just want to make sure I know where we're actually starting. So we are going to start with kind of a cutscene here. I'm playing with all of the settings on normal, as you can see, and the game has been running fantastically for me so far. Alright, so we're gonna actually get our first spell of combat here. I'm just gonna switch to my shotgun for a second, and then we'll talk about what the heck is actually going on here. Alright, that was pretty easy. So, we are playing as Lara Croft, the titular Tomb Raider. I don't mean titular as a pun, guys. It's a real English word. Do we have some arrows here we can pick up? Basically, she was part of an archaeology team that was also filming like a reality TV show in the vein of something like, I don't know, Man vs. Wild, but with a more archaeology focus to it. And they're looking for this kingdom in the South Pacific that has been lost, kind of like the South Pacific's version of Atlantis, if you will. Anyway, they got into a shipwreck, and since then they've run into nothing but problems on this mystical and perhaps magical island. Basically, a lot of Lara's team has been slaughtered. She's been put through hell, already taken hostage by a tribe of perhaps natives, but also there's a little bit of a Russian conspiracy going on. Anyway, that's what I know so far. And right now, basically, we were just about to get rescued. Oop, I didn't even realize that I was lighting the torch there. We were just about to get rescued by this plane, but then the plane was shot down, perhaps by some, again, mystical force, and this is the pilot right here. So I'm actually kind of in the dark as to what's going to happen next. But basically, we're marooned on this island, and we're trying to both save our friends and be rescued ourselves. So I'm hoping, again, this is not a section that I've played before, because you can have multiple saves, but I just wanted to kind of boot into some blind stuff here. Now, every time we rest at one of these things, these are almost like save points, but the game does auto-save as well. But Lara will kind of dictate into her journal what's happening to her, so you can get a feel for that. There is a little bit of an RPG mechanic in this game where as you accomplish certain objectives, you'll be able to put a skill point in something, either Brawler, Hunter, or Survivor upgrades. I put most of it into Hunter upgrades, I think, so far, and a little bit into Survivor as well. I wonder if I can get any of these. No, they're not unlocked yet. But, you know, in the Hunter tier, this is things like that allow you to kill enemies faster, like Steady Shot, increased ammo capacity. I've never done anything for Brawler, which it looks like it can increase my combat ability with melee weapons, and perhaps also things like my HP. And Survivor I actually like, not the TV show, but the abilities here. Spotting hidden pockets on an enemy corpses will reward you with extra ammunition. What am I even talking about? Carefully looting animal corpses will reward you with extra salvage. Sure, okay, let's go with scavenging, which will allow me to get extra ammunition. Okay. And hopefully we'll get into some actual gameplay here, because the gameplay has been solid so far. There's also like a currency, basically, in the form of salvage in the game.
What the hell happened? This storm, it came out of nowhere. These clouds, they just surrounded the plane.
Lara, listen. I saw the crash from here, so you must be close to my position. Just get back here safe.
All right.
So we're trying to meet up with our friend and colleague Roth here, so it looks like that is going to be our next objective. Before we get going a little bit, I just want to point out, again, I have everything on normal, but despite that, the camera's actually fixed here, which is not convenient for what I wanted to do. But despite that, I think this game looks absolutely fantastic by default. Ooh, that actually allowed me to find another salvage crate here. I can use this to upgrade my weapons and gear as we get going. But yeah, there's a lot of points in this game which are pretty visually breathtaking. I think this looks fantastic and runs at a smooth frame rate, although I have heard that if you turn Tress FX on, which is that new like AMD technology that allows Lara's hair strands to like react individually as they would given the physics of the environment. Oh no! Hopefully I'm not about to spoil something major here. I wonder if I can get involved in some combat here. Okay, so let's shoot this dude in the head. This dude as well. Lara's pretty much the ultimate badass here. Okay, shoot the pulley. And we're still alive. She's basically had the worst day ever. I really think like a million view idea for this game would be to like set the events of this game in montage form to something like Daniel Powter's Bad Day. You know, like, I had a bad day. Okay, shoot the rope. Shoot the rope. Okay, and then we'll just probably climb over here, or are we gonna pull it down? I guess we're gonna pull it down. There's a lot of quick time events as well. I really like the combat in this game. Which is something I didn't expect, given that, I mean, Tomb Raider's always had sort of a combat focus, but it's also been about solving puzzles. Please don't throw a Molotov cocktail at me. I don't even know what that is. That guy, he's got a flare and a Molotov. I tend to use the bow and the arrow here. The big thing about the combat that's really fun is actually the cover system, which kind of reacts dynamically. You don't actually snap to cover anymore. Instead, you as you're walking, I mean, you don't have to press a button to get into cover, is what I meant to say. But as you come across cover just randomly, you'll just get behind it, assuming there's danger. If there's not danger, you won't. So there's no more like sprint, 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 and then just stick to cover, which can be really annoying. Also, you can scavenge off of enemies to get extra ammo and whatnot. I haven't found ammo to be a problem so far. I'm actually full on ammo, despite having all of the ammo upgrades. So, we can also enter Lara's like survival mode here, or survivor instincts mode, and this will give us a clue as to what we can do in order to proceed here. So it looks like I can shoot this rope to attach to maybe this, and then in doing so I can pull this down, I guess, which will perhaps create a path for me to move forward. Almost reminds me a little bit of DMC, actually. I wonder if I can... Alright. I was worried that I was going to die there. So far, it's been a pretty good mix. I would say it's probably, like, 40% combat, 40% platforming puzzles, and 20% kind of more formal puzzles, if that makes any sense. I bet we can pull this towards us, too. Yeah, 20% more formal puzzles, or, like, physics-based puzzles. I wonder if I can make this jump. Indeed I can, as long as I grab onto it. Also, a healthy dose of quick-time events, and I know a lot of people have a problem with that, but I actually... have no problem with quick-time events when they're used effectively. And they are used pretty effectively in this game. I'm sure we will see some as we move along. So we can get some more salvage and ammunition off this guy. Platforming's really smooth. There's a few platforming tools that you can use, like that mid-wall scamper that you saw. Generally speaking, this is not a punishing game with respect to its jumping puzzles so far. As long as you're kind of in the right place to make a jump, the game seems to kind of be like, you know, you tried. We'll adjust physics accordingly so that you can actually get up here. So things that might not seem physically possible oftentimes do end up working out regardless, which I appreciate, because I hate when a game kind of gets its difficulty just from making jumping puzzles incredibly difficult. Sometimes it's okay, but this game errs more on the lenient side, which I appreciate. So we're being introduced to a new mechanic here. I would hesitate to call this a Metroidvania, to be sure, but it's cool that you keep getting these new abilities. We're very much past the tutorial section of the game, at least it seems so far. We've had some major things happen, but I don't want to go into that too much. So let's drop down here and make our way forward, where maybe we will see Roth. The story mode of this game is actually one of the strong points so far. Not just the story mode, but the actual story itself has been very, very interesting to me so far. I wonder if we can just pull down this door and open it that way. We also have an axe that we can use. One thing I will say is the setting, at least so far, is a little bit different than your average Tomb Raider game. We're not really raiding tombs so much as we're raiding bunkers and villages and cellars and whatnot, but that's okay by me. Oh, is that Roth? Indeed, okay, so this is the guy we actually rescued earlier.
You and me both, girl.
One moment they were fine, the next, there was this storm. It came out of nowhere.
It's not your fault, Lara.
I called them here, Roth.
Hey, we'll find another way.
Mayday, mayday. This is co-pilot Jessica Bear.
Another pilot.
11778.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Got badly hurt when I landed and need urgent aid. Is anyone there?
Captain Jessup, do you read?
I've deployed a smoke signal. Please
Damn it, he can't hear me. I have to get to him.
No.
His signal's just over there.
We've got our own people to worry about. We'll need to regroup as soon as they find Sam.
I can't just leave him out there alone. I need to get to him.
Sometimes you've got to make sacrifices, Lara. You can't save everyone.
I know about sacrifices.
No. You know about loss. Sacrifice is a choice you make. Loss is a choice made for you.
I can't choose to let him die, Roth.
You know, I have to say, surprisingly good writing so far as well. There's been very few times in this game so far when I've been like, oh, come on, that's really cheesy. I think the writing in this game is really solid. And this might be a good time to take a look and be like, yeah, this game, I actually feel, looks really, really good. It certainly has a little bit of an Uncharted vibe when it comes to the kind of scope of these settings. And it is getting slightly chunkier from a frame rate perspective, but that's largely due to what's going on with Fraps here. We could hunt that bird if we wanted to as well, but I'm not going to do that. I wonder if I fall down here, would I just die? Maybe it's in our best interest to shoot a rope like that instead, and maybe take a zip line down. So there is a lot of... Oh, no! Lara, what were you doing there? I thought you were just going to jump to your death.
We ain't gonna find anyone up here. You're probably right, but we got orders.
Alright, I'm just going to stay hidden
Head down
here.
and join the others at the plane. You keep checking these ruins.
One of my major complaints... I say major complaint,
I'll get right on that.
but it's actually a super minor complaint, is I really don't like how the subtitles are not, they don't have like a transparent background. Instead they have, like the black background, which I find really annoying, because it covers up part of the screen. It just looks weird, basically. So I could stealth kill these guys. Oh man, that was a bad shot. But instead, I'm just gonna kill them this way. They are really good shots. Enemies are pretty punishing in this game. Like, once they see you, they are all basically Robin Hood. Let's see if we can get this. And you die fairly quickly. Lara's pretty squishy. I'd say she takes like 4 or 5 hits before she dies, which, you know, is not realistic.
I'm here, Reyes. What's your situation?
We followed a group of men to some kind of...
A kind
Oh.
of mortar and pestle. Probably used for preparing medicinal herbs.
So yeah, occasionally we'll come across these relics in our environment, and it's got kind of like an LA Noire setup to it, where we can actually like rotate, look at it, and we'll find hidden information that will teach us more about our environment and the people that we're dealing with on this island, perhaps. If I can find the controller's vibrating to be like, here's the information, dummy. Where is it? I'm rotating the right analog stick.
There are small bone fragments in the mortar well. Hopefully animal bones.
I doubt it.
This place is insane, Roth. What the hell are they doing here?
I don't know, and I don't think I want to know. Any sign of Sam or Whitman?
Nothing yet. Are you with Lara?
Yes. We'll be heading down the mountain soon to meet up with you.
Okay. We'll try to get in a bit closer. Keep this channel open.
Okay, so that's another character that we're trying to rescue there. I just lit that shrine. That's actually the first one I lit. And this torch, you know, we have a lot of puzzles where we have to use fire to solve something, especially in the early game, at least from what I've seen so far. And we actually got a fire starter, which allows us to start fires whenever we want now, which is a big deal. I just want to take a look quickly and see if there's anything down here. It doesn't necessarily appear so. It looks like there might be some kind of... Yeah, there's like chickens down there, which I can hunt and eat. There's definitely a little bit of a Far Cry vibe here as well. I want to jump into this, but I don't want to die. Oh, well, you know what? I guess I'll just die instead. I really thought that was within my grasp. Most of the time, the game just kind of seems to know what you're doing, and then it helps you out that way. Apparently here, I made a mistake. Maybe I want to do this, actually, instead. Did that do anything at all? I don't think so. Maybe I can fire it at this one instead and create my own zipline with blackjack and hookers. Let's try this again. Maybe we can get in range. That is super weird. Lara! Oh, I wonder if I can hit this one instead and do something. Nothing at all. Okay, this is really weird. I feel like I should just be able to jump up on this zip line, but maybe I actually want to go to the one down here. I can't help but feel that I was actually in the right position there. But I guess we could go with our survival instincts as well. And oh, we can see like a new lantern here, which I guess we could possibly light. No. There's our beacon, like, all the way over there. I'm not crazy, right? I feel like I should just be able to jump up onto the zip line. There we go. Apparently, you've just got to stand right near the edge. That's the first time I've ever had a problem with just kind of, like, the ambient platforming in the game. So I can't hate on it too much, but that is kind of annoying that that just happened. Let's just take a look for some extra salvage. You know, getting experience helps you. You can become a stronger person in the game in the long run. I'm not even sure what doing these torches, or lighting these torches does. I guess it gives us a little XP. Nope. Lighting shrines gives us XP, but is there a shrine up here? There is not, and there's no salvage crate either. Okay, so let's continue moving forwards. One thing I mentioned is...
There's the signal.
Excuse me, I was speaking there. One thing I have noticed, or I have mentioned so far in the video already, is that I really think the combat is kind of the surprising star of the show here. The platforming and exploring has been cool so far. I've heard that the game gets a little bit more open from this point on. Like, right now it's been pretty linear, but there is, like, kind of like an open world infrastructure here with fast travel and stuff like that. So I assume you get a little bit more open worldy. To be honest with you, I kind of am okay with linear games because it keeps me from getting lost. We do have the ability to kind of climb these, I don't know if this is like pumice or whatnot, but to climb this here. I should be able to stealth kill this guy. Is that like the oldest trick in the stealth action book, is like some dude's gonna be peeing? I think he's done. That was the I'm finished peeing shake that he got there. Anyway, still managed to get through this just fine. But yeah, the arrow in particular, the bow and arrow, feels really, really like just satisfying in general, basically. I'm not sure if the bow physics are perfect, but you know, along with Far Cry 3, I really enjoy using the bow and arrow in this game because it's silent, deadly, and you can replenish your ammo from enemies. Which is, you know, pretty much the three factors I think you need in order to make this, you know, a satisfying experience with respect to the bow and arrow. Okay, so I don't know what these signs mean. Occasionally, you'll see signs that are like, go here for human sacrifice, and I'm like, you know what? That's okay, man. I'm totally A-okay. I think this might be like a secret area in here. Why don't we check this out? I might have to fight some animals or something. There is like a hunting mechanic in the game, which we haven't seen so far over the course of this video, but definitely factors heavily into the very earliest segments in the game, and I think might do so later as well. Seems like you're able to salvage meat from enemies, but that might just be like a one quest type of thing. So I'm assuming this is kind of like a side quest area because need to get up where somehow? Up there somehow? That might be an issue. There is a salvage crate though, which has given me a second bow part. So if we go back to a base camp, I actually will be able to modify my bow. Those are the first two weapon parts I've ever found, actually, which is kind of surprising. Camera, 99% of the time, totally solid. Oh, you can't fit through there? Yeah, you can. 99% of the time, totally solid. It's normally like a free view where you can use the right analog stick to switch between views. Or sorry, to like rotate the camera around you. Hall of Ascension, interesting. Optional tomb. Do we want to check out the optional tomb, or do we want to go straight into the story mode? Let's check out the optional tomb. There's also a camp here, apparently, so I can upgrade my bow. But sometimes whenever you get into a tight space, it'll default to basically a fixed camera. Yes, I will do this. So now we have a recurve bow. Excellent. And we probably have enough salvage gear to upgrade our bow again. Maybe. Let's see. Keyring trigger further increases fire rate. Sure, I had exactly one scrap left over, so that was pretty close. But yeah, no complaints about the camera at all, which is nice after, you know, playing a bunch of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, which indeed does suffer from poor camera angles sometimes.
This was once part of Yamatai.
So we actually are going to be raiding a tomb here. This is probably going to be incredibly frustrating to watch because, you know, there's going to be puzzles involved, and I am basically an idiot when it comes to puzzles. Let's just take a quick look at the elements of this room. So we got that. We got some kind of bench down here, which maybe I want to rotate to do something with. Here's an example of a brief QuickTime event. I kind of just want to close the thank you. Close the shutters so that it's not so noisy in here. Then let's rotate this thing. And I probably, I don't know, maybe want to get on top of this and then swing around a little bit. We have like another element in here somewhere. That thing doesn't look like it's holding up too well. But is this how we're gonna swing over here, I guess, and then jump? Okay. Give me a second here. So I think what we need to do, we're gonna close these. I think I finally figured out a puzzle unlike my second attempt, which is a big deal. We're gonna close these, but the wind is so strong that eventually these are gonna reopen. And in the meantime, we're gonna raise this up a little bit. Like, oh, like so. Just mash the button here, get this done. And then once these shutters blow open, I'm gonna get on top of this thing. And then I should be able to scamper up this wall. And by scampering up this wall, there will be like a platforming segment. There we go. Do I need to time this just right? I thought I already did the hard part, Lara. Almost like an Assassin's Creed style platforming setup as well, which, you know, I guess is also, you know, part of that Uncharted influence. Excellent, we are totally fine. We actually got a decent amount of experience for that as well.
Beautiful. Was this part of a larger complex?
Again, this is the first time I've ever done something like this in this game, so I have no idea if this is going to be like 10 minutes long or if it's going to be an hour long, but either way, that's pretty cool. Looks like maybe it was just one puzzle. Let's see what artifact we have here. And these give you experience, but also they just added the flavor of the island, and the island is kind of like its own character in this game as well. Well, show me what it is. Tomb raided. Alright, well, we got extra XP. 1 of 3 handgun parts found. Is that really the treasure that was in here? Weird. Mountain Village GPS cache found. View reward locations. It reminds me a little bit of, I've mentioned this many times now, but it reminds me a little bit of Far Cry 3 in that it's very sticky. There's lots of elements in the game that kind of keep you doing things even when you're not actually just doing the main story. But unlike Far Cry 3, it always feels like there's this kind of sense of narrative urgency that is pulling you forward as opposed to being like, yeah, I'll just tool around this island for a while. So we have another skill point. Where can I invest this in? Let's go back to, I want to upgrade our survivor instincts a little bit more. We cannot get tier 2 yet. Let's go through advanced salvaging to increase our ability to get salvage. Seems good to me. The RPG elements, you know, I'm not going to say that they necessarily seem superficial, but you get them very quickly, and it doesn't appear to have a massive impact on your success, at least so far. I haven't found the game supremely difficult by any stretch of the imagination. Some of the combat sections have been a little tricky for me, but usually if you appreciate that the game places an emphasis on stealth for a reason, then you'll be okay. Like, Lara is very much not built to take out 10 enemies at once, but you can usually get away with 3 or 4, which might rub some people the wrong way. But, you know, this is an action game as much as an adventure game, for sure. So let's get through here. I really like the lighting, by the way. I think the lighting in this game looks really good. Is this not the way I came through? I think this is the way I came in. And we'll just get back to the story then. And again, we're like 20 minutes into this video, and we've still basically seen very little, which should indicate to you an idea of the amount of content available. So let's try this again. We do have the recurve bow now. I actually don't know what differences this has compared to the regular bow, but considering that it's by far my most used weapon, it seems like a smart idea to upgrade it. But I don't know if it's like a sideways upgrade, if you will, or a lateral upgrade, or a lateral side grade, I suppose, or if it's, you know, actually... Can we pull that down? No. We want to create a zip line from somewhere, I guess. Or if it's like a straight upgrade, if you will. Anyway, this might be able to create a zip line for us to get down there. No, we're going to try to pull that down as well. Lara, you're not as strong as you think you are. Now, how are we going to get there? Again, I don't think this is going to work well for us either. Yeah, I'm not quite as strong as you think you are. So we're here. Is it worth trying to make this jump? Probably. It's going to hurt a little bit. She has regenerating health, almost as in a Call of Duty or something. That's kind of the nature of the beast in games these days, though. Whether you like that or feel like it's kind of a cop-out is going to vary from person to person, I'm imagining. It doesn't take away from the experience, even if you don't like regenerating health very much. Let's get our bow back out, and this should allow us to create a zip line to get down here. If not a zip line, then... oh, it is a zip line. You can also sometimes just do, like, traversal if there's no slope. If they're just, like, exactly straight. Is there another shrine up here? There is not, but there is another artifact.
It is time for me to leave this accursed island. I have seen enough of Yamatai. I cannot explain the power the Sun Queen wields, but it is not of this earthly plane. As I suspected, she knew my intent the moment I set foot on this island. She has manipulated me, toyed with me to see what information I would seek. But she always knew. If I am allowed to leave this place alive, I must warn my lord. Warn him that we should avoid Yamatai at all costs.
Anyway, so hopefully you heard all of that. Again, that just emphasizes, you know, the island itself. There's some supernatural elements at work here that have not been fully fleshed out yet. But again, this is you know, not meant to be, hey, let's show the ending of Tomb Raider. God damn it, Lara. Having the worst day of all time. The number of sections where she's doing something and things just start going incredibly terribly for her is quite high in this game. Please grab onto the rope. This seems ripe for a quick time event, and I was indeed correct. Lara's in danger all the time, and some of the times it's scripted, some of the times like success is scripted, and some of the times you actually have to work for it. It takes away a little of the sense of danger of the game, but still, this is an engaging story because you never know what's going to happen to your protagonist. Nothing seems to be off limits, let's put it that way, without spoiling anything. So we are still looking for our pilots here. At which point we'll probably get another cutscene. I have to say, I don't know why she's looking sideways there. Maybe I should be looking sideways here. I have to say, I think the voice work is really well done in this game as well. Even like just the things you pick up randomly in the environment usually have their own voice work associated with it. And it all seems fairly well done, at least so far.
Hey, Lara. Roth told us about the plane. Don't worry, there's got to be another way off this rock, right?
I hope so. Any sign of Sam?
Yeah, we tracked her to some old Japanese palace.
I don't like the sound of that.
Hey, don't worry, she's probably just sightseeing.
You're a terrible liar, Alex. You have to be careful in there. Good luck.
Alright, so it looks like we have another camp here. As you can see, base camp's coming pretty fast and furious. Do we have anything else that we can upgrade? We can upgrade our rifle and our handgun, but our gear is 100% upgraded. We also have our... I mean, our bow is not 100% upgraded, but I can't upgrade anything else, can I? No, I cannot. I don't really want to spend salvage upgrading anything else, but, you know, I guess we should, because we have a bunch. Why don't we throw in, what's a muzzle brake? Effectively dispels the gas from bullet firing to reduce recoil. We need the padded stock first, though, which we don't have enough salvage for. Whatever, let's just save our salvage for now. And we'll move onward. So I'm going to strike a torch. Oh, she did it for me, actually. And then we will perhaps raid some more tombs. So maybe the tomb raiding element is going to be much higher than it was early on. Pretty dark in here, though. I'll try to lighten this up in post for you guys. I just like to say in post because it makes me feel like what I do is actually like related to filmmaking.
These ruins predate the Kofun period.
Let's crack open these salvage crates, which are just kind of randomly around here. That takes away from a little bit of the immersion, I guess you could say. They are immersion breaking salvage crates, but you know,
Himiko?
sometimes there are arbitrary elements just to kind of gamify things a little bit more. Let's see what we've got going on here. Another statue and another large temple, which seems to me like this is going to be a set piece. And there is the pilot over there. So I'm imagining we're going to get a cutscene right now.
Oh my god!
For a child, you've caused me a great deal of trouble. But you're just as naive and predictable. Kill her!
Oh, either I'm getting kidnapped or we're about to have like a siege mode here or something. It appears like I have finally been kidnapped. Alright, like I said, there are times when this game can get a little bit mature, if you will. This is definitely not your daddy's superficial TNA Tomb Raider. Lara finds herself in real disgusting situations sometimes. This game is mature in a way that is not merely, I guess, not to use superficial again, but not merely superficial. I know to rotate the left analog stick, or, you know, swing the left analog stick to do this. This seems, again, ripe for quick time events, as is the industry standard. Again, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just making some commentary. So hopefully we don't find ourselves among this pile of bodies that kind of looks like a scene from Resident Evil or something.
What's happening here?
Well, this seems like it's going to be a gross boss fight, or possibly a mandatory stealth action sequence. Let us run through here before that angry Japanese demon gets to us. Seriously, Lara's had a pretty goddamn terrible day already. And things just keep getting worse. Yeah, stay here. I want to see who this enemy is. See, this is goddamn frightening. Don't look. There are some genuinely scary moments in this game so far. Maybe I'm just a big puss, but I've had some genuinely frightening, intense moments. The game it builds those moments quite effectively, I think. It really gets you emotionally invested. For all of these slightly negative things I've said so far, I hope I've kind of iterated and made you guys sure that I think Tomb Raider is actually an excellent game. I perhaps unfairly expected it to be not so good, but it's really delivered, I've got to say. So we are in the Chasm Monastery. Another thing the game does really well is mixing up these set pieces. So, you know, we started on like a Pacific island. There's been times we've been on like a snow-peaked mountain, and now we're in this like seemingly otherworldly environment right here. So the game mixes up the environment quite well, despite it all seeming, at least so far, to take place on, you know, one location. So obviously there's a certain sense of dread and foreboding as a result of all these human skulls and hanging bodies around us, but hopefully we will not become one of them. What are you doing with this corpse, lady? Just let it be. Oh, actually, no. Please take the shotgun.
This thing still works.
There's a big, like... Okay. Destroy loose wooden barriers with a shotgun. There's a big, like, World War II theme going on here. If that makes any sense at all. Not in the sense that, you know, like, we're fighting Nazis or anything. I hope I didn't just spoil it. But... you know, this island was apparently occupied during the Second World War. At least that's what they're kind of getting at, I think, so far. There's a lot of World War II era technology that we've come across in firearms.
A Sun Queen and her Storm Guard. Himiko, the first Sun Queen. This is Yamatai. And you're really here. And really, really dead. This is incredible. This looks like some kind of fire ritual. A sacrificial ritual. Horrible. But why were the women burnt like that? A journey, a pilgrimage to... Is that this monastery? Pouring water. But why? And there you are, Queen. Wait. It's not pouring water, it's transferring power. This is an ascension ritual. It's how you chose your successor. Oh no.
1 second. I had something to talk about, but first things first, let's kill these dudes. Oh god! I've never had an enemy get that close to me before. We can execute some, like, quick kills, if you will, like that. Executions, if you will. That was a lucky shot. The shooting, it feels good, man. I'm using, the controller because I'm casual scum, but even still, that's the only execution I've seen, by the way. An awful lot of bashing rocks into people's heads. These enemies that get super close to you are real annoying, especially since they tend to move around. Thankfully, that guy decided not to shoot at me, which is pretty nice of him. I'm just gonna get behind here. I really prefer using the bow whenever I get the opportunity, but enemies seem to be, like, pretty realistic in the amount of shots it takes to kill them, and the location that those shots need to be in order to succeed. Like, you saw I shot that guy in the leg and the torso a few times. He didn't go down. I had to eventually shoot him, maybe in the heart. I can't remember. It might have been in the neck. Excuse me. Inhuman roar! Never what you want to see in subtitles.
What the hell is that thing?
So I'm kind of unsure what I'm supposed to be doing right now, but I imagine it involves ringing this bell, because it does have the rope thing attached to it. Is that even a bell? Oh, okay. That just opened up that door for us. Beautiful! So let's continue moving onwards here. Sometimes the game, I wouldn't say it necessarily forces you to use the guns, but there are times when it suggests you use the guns. Which, it kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth, because again, I love the bow stuff so much. Oh, I have a skill point I can invest. What should we put this in? Brawler, Hunter, Survivor? These guys are getting eaten as we speak right now. Sure, let's go for the Survival. Well, I already have that. Sure, let's go for the Bone Collector. Get, like, everything in this area. When we loot animal corpses, we will get extra salvage. And we unlock the Hardened skill tier, which will allow us to do other stuff. It looks like it gave us melee combat with our axe as well, which is cool. Now I've sort of forgotten which way we're supposed to go. I think it was out here, though, so if I just... Oh, shotgun will do this, right. That is left on the D-pad. Alright. No problem, then. Let's make our way out here. And I'll probably play, you know, maybe, like, to the next set piece, if you will. And then we will stop the video, because I don't want to show off too much. It does seem to be a decently long campaign, though. It's not like, you know, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, a game I enjoy. I don't mean to shit-talk Revengeance a couple of times in this video. But, you know, quite short, you know, 5 to 6 hours, maybe. Tomb Raider seems to be a little bit longer, at least judging by the percentage on the screen. But keep in mind, that could mean things like, you know, it could be standard, like, N64, PlayStation 1 era completion where, you know, maybe that's taking into account extras that we find in the environment, not merely the campaign or the story mode. But if you're into finding those extras, then I guess that's still relevant for you. In any case, as always, I encourage you to check out full reviews of people who have actually beaten the game if you're concerned about the length. But certainly, you know, the mystery is still being unraveled. We're not even close to the climax or the resolution of the conflict, from what I can tell so far, unless it took a very wild left turn. How did she say? Oh, I guess I made some sound when I came down.
Let's be friends. The Guardians will kill us all for trespassing.
Who are these Guardians? What do they want?
Excuse me? No, waste your time. Don't kill me. Alright, I managed to kill him with just one random shot to the arm, which is rare. Oh, I hate these dudes. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take out our shotgun. We're going to get ready to dodge this dude's attack. Like so, and then we're going to parry him, basically. These sections I don't necessarily think are the strongest, but that's okay. There we go. Fairly good. You know, I kind of take back what I said earlier. Lara's actually fairly hardy in her own right. Perhaps unrealistically so. But that is okay. What do we have up here? Okay, so the way down is apparently here. Do we just stand here? Is that going to do it for us, or do we have to solve some sort of puzzle? My guess is we have to solve some sort of puzzle. Yeah, it looks like we have maybe the shotgun should shoot out this area here. But how do I get up there? This is a good question. It looks like we have maybe a platforming type area over here. Oh, Jesus Christ! Now I can use my axe to actually disable these guys. Like so, I guess. And there's an execution that was, again, with the rock. So maybe that's the only execution available. I can't verify that 100%, but I'm 5 for 5 so far. So we'll take out our bow. Assuming I'm not being attacked right now. No, it's just the shutters. Okay. And then by swinging this, maybe I can break those beams? Is that gonna work? Or should I just use my shotgun to do it? Let's try using the shotgun. I mean... Okay, I get it, game. I'm not doing it the right way. I wonder if we have to, like, swing when we shoot our bow and arrow here. Like, maybe we have to shoot it more than once with the arrow? Like, keep pulling it back? That appears to have accomplished very little. Well, it looks like this bell might have something to do with it as well. Interesting. I just want to verify one... Oh, I was just going to shoot it again with the shotgun. You know what Albert Einstein said? Genius is attempting the same thing every time. Okay, so we're just going to open the shutters, and that is actually going to allow us to do it. Maybe in conjunction with shooting our rope out of the bow. Unless there's another set of shutters over here. There are indeed. Alright, this should take down that area then. So let's just crank on the X button here. Is this enough? Is there another set of shutters I need to open? Maybe now I can use my bow and arrow? This would be a hell of a shot, all things considered. Now, maybe this will give us enough velocity to hit the bell. It did indeed. And hitting the bell did what? Nobody knows, I guess. Wonder if I attack it from like a different angle. If I pull it back like this, I can hit the beam. You know what I have to do? I think I have to go... let's close one of these. I think I've mastered this puzzle, believe it or not. You've probably figured it out well before me, as the case often is. So we're going to use physics due to the kind of angle that these wind shutters are on. This should allow us to, I think, break this beam. Oh, if I could hit it. We can break this beam over here, then we can open the other shutter and break the other beam. I've never been good at these kinds of games, as you can probably tell, but Tomb Raider has not been insanely difficult so far with respect to its puzzles. The hardest puzzle for me was actually the very first one in the game involving water and fire, for lack of a better word. You'll see it again if you play through it yourself or choose to watch somebody else's walkthrough on YouTube, if that's the sort of thing that you're into. So let's break this last one, and we'll get ready to finish off the Let's Look At very soon. Because again, I don't want to show off too much, but it's very tempting for me to do like an hour and a half Let's Look At here. Are you really gonna F with me? They're gonna F with me. That's the answer to that. It seems probably like it's a little bit too windy for me to be shooting. I don't like this guy. For me to be shooting my bow, but apparently it's working. Oh, he might actually kill me. Is he dead? Am I dead? Not yet, at least. I can fire quickly, but the longer we hold the button down, the more damage we do, and the more accurate we are as well. Alright, we're okay. Let's get some extra ammo back. That was pretty close, though.
Shit. I've got to get out of here.
Yeah, no kidding, lady. You're bringing the whole place down. So I don't think anyone's coming for me right now. Let's very quickly bust open these shutters. And then repeat the process basically right here. Ring the bell. The problem was I solved the puzzle too early. I missed the interim steps. That didn't even hit the bell, but I appreciate it nonetheless. So this seems like a scripted sequence. She takes a lot of rough falls in this game. Again, that Daniel Powder bad day montage idea would be fantastic, I think. Inhuman roaring. Wow, okay, this is not good. We're supposed to run through this section, but what I'm actually going to do is exit to the main menu here. Because, again, I don't want to spoil very much of this game. I've already probably spoiled enough. But in any case, this is Tomb Raider available on the PC. I'm happy to report that the PC version seems fully featured and absolutely not a buggy piece of garbage. Because the PC copies went out so late, the buzz was that maybe, just maybe, this was going to be kind of a technical nightmare. But no, the PC port absolutely handled perfectly. Robust options and a great game. I haven't played as much of it as I would like to so far, but, you know, that's pretty telling because I am probably approaching the 3.5 hour mark at this point. Highly recommended. Tomb Raider seems like very much like an Assassin's Creed Uncharted style of game, and if you're into that sort of thing, it's like a grittier version of those, if you will. I'm a big fan of those kind of games, and I'm enjoying Tomb Raider as well. I think this is probably going to dominate my single-player time over the next week or so. But in any case, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.